In this video, I want to illustrate the setting up a welcome series. So as new leads come in, we want to capture those through a web form and bring them directly into a journey. So we're going to build out that process to show you some of the strategies and ideas that have worked for some of our companies in the past. By bringing in the web form, we're able to capture leads directly into our journey. So we'll go ahead and we can choose our form, any form on our website, and once we've built that integration out, then those will capture into here. So we can specify which form, send them directly over to the email, and then that first email is going to be a double opt-in process. So here we create the double opt-in email. The reason that we do the double opt-in is so that we can weed out bots, we can make sure people are actually engaged with our messaging, and also you could put a landing page from that opt-in email to be able to capture more customer information. So if your initial web form only asks for an email address or an email and a name, here you can ask for name, maybe birth date, maybe phone number. You can start to get more information from the customer through this opt-in process. So then we'll also create our first email, and in your first email, really, maybe it's an offer, maybe it's a promotion, something that engages them in and gets them hooked on a little further onto your brand. Because this lead's either coming from a form on your website, or they click through from a Google ad or a Facebook ad or something else onto a landing page, and now you want to indoctrinate them into your brand. So once we send that opt-in, we're going to wait a period of time. And the reason that we do this delay node, the time delay here, is because we're going to resend that first email if they do not click on it. So we're going to set that at 23 hours. You could do it for a day or whatever you prefer, but we're going to do it for 23 hours. And then we're going to have that second email, and it's only going to go on clicked. So anybody that clicks within that opt-in email, regardless of where they click, whatever, if they click, they're going to be sent this second email as soon as they click. We add that Google tag so that we can track that in our Google Analytics. And then here we're going to go ahead and do a check email status so we can check and see whether or not they opened that first email. So we're going to check that opt-in. Then we're going to bring over and we're going to resend that opt-in if they did not open that initial email. So here we're going to choose has not opened, or we can choose has not clicked. For this example, we'll go ahead and choose has not clicked because we're looking for that opt-in. So we'll go ahead and duplicate this and we'll just call it the resend. That way we can maybe cater that second email so it's not exactly the same and make it a little more specific to that resend or that follow-up. And then again, we can add our campaign tag for Google Analytics so that we can see that show up in our source medium information in Google Analytics. Then we're going to flow that directly through, and we're going to continue only those that clicked again because we want real people to come in. So now that we've got them coming in, we're going to send that first welcome email, which will be our second email. And then from here, if you wanted to, you could send out a postcard to any real individuals. So those that have confirmed their identity, maybe you want to send them a postcard, give them some physical experience with your brand. Then we're going to set a time delay and we're going to wait a period of time. And then also we're going to send them to a segment, and we'll call this segment confirmed subscribers. So now we know those that have confirmed their subscription through clicking the email. And after every email, we want to wait a period of time, and then we're going to check for has transaction. Don't do those in the opposite order because you may miss those that have a transaction. But we want to check and make sure the customer has a transaction, because by checking if they have a transaction, we can set them into a different experience. And then those that have not purchased yet, we can continue trying to sell them on the brand and on purchasing product. So if you're just telling a brand story and you really want to give somebody the experience into your brand and you're not specifically trying to sell product, You may not need to check to see if there's been a transaction after every time, but typically I like to sell and continue to sell through my emails because these individuals came in, they said they're interested in my brand, they're interested in looking into it. Maybe there was a promotion that I offered for them to sign up. I want them to end up purchasing something. So I'm going to check and see if there's been a transaction from these customers as they continue to flow through my journey. So here we're just going to go ahead and duplicate this, and obviously you're going to go recreate these emails and make them specific to your brand and your message. Typically in the first email, it's giving my coupon, maybe it's hyping up, maybe it's showing a couple of highlighted reviews from customers and why people like my brand or my product or my service. In the second email, I'm probably going to dig a little bit into more of our why. I love Simon Sinek's Starts With Why. Really dive into why we're in business, why we do what we do, how we're going to help them accomplish whatever it is that they're striving to accomplish. You can always customize these time delays, but after my first welcome email, I wait a day. After my second one, I'm going to wait a couple of days. And then again, I'm going to check for that transaction, and then we're going to send a third email. And this third email may be a nudge, maybe a, hey, like, you've been interested, like, let's get serious, right? Like, let's move this along. Let's take this just from getting to know each other to a dating stage, right? Like, let's become more firm in who we are and our relationship. Again, off that transaction, I'm going to add to that same segment, and then I'll eject them from the journey. So, and you can really drill out a welcome series as many emails as you want. For this example, I believe we're using 4 total. And so here again, we're going to wait another couple of days, and then we're going to check transaction. So we're always checking that transaction because I'm going to feed them a different experience. And maybe I could even build that into this journey as well, right? If I want to say, okay, if they've had a transaction, let's tell them a slightly different story, or I want to put them through my post-purchase as a first-time customer. And to do that, we'll show you another video on that, but I can use that repeat customer node down in the conditions nodes. So this is a great way to really invite individuals into your brand, to show them your product, your service, what benefits you offer, and how you can really benefit them. Once I get down into towards the end of this, I may want to look at certain things and say, okay, if this customer has not engaged with me, like in this example, right? Like if they haven't had a transaction, maybe I want to check one of the previous emails and see if they actually opened it. And I can either do a resend or I could do a follow-up email. And then also, if I wanted to, I could add them to a Facebook audience to continue engaging them. So hopefully that's helpful. Enjoy.